Welcome to the Flux Dev Meeting, October 22nd.
Hello, everybody. So I'm gonna give a few updates. We um released Flux 2.7.2 with a few CVE fixes on dependencies in Go, the Go standard library. So Go 1.25.2, I think, had a bunch of CVE fixes, and 2.7.2 was released to fix those. Um, Also, we will probably release Flux 2.7.3 next week with a few fixes. There are a few regressions. There's a regression in notification controller Telegram provider for threads that was caused by the removal of the dependency that we were using to talk to Telegram, whereas it can be a simple HTTP call. So Uh, even though the regression was caused, it was still worth to remove this dependency. And then a user found out that traced the regression back to the removal of this library and implemented a very simple fix. So we're gonna release that in notification controller. We're also gonna the support for SOX 5 proxy. So in all the APIs that support proxy, we have so in Flux 2.7 we released Kapizawa's migration to a unified library for handling secrets in Flux. So the proxy secret is now handled by this library, and in this library we unfortunately shipped in 2.7.2 a change that was making it more restrictive with allowing only HTTP and HTTPS proxy. But SOX 5 is proxy support is documented for Git repository and uh, is handled seamlessly by the Go library. So um, that was also fixed that into 7.3. That means source controller, image automation controller, image refactor controller, and notification controller. So all those controllers are getting patch releases, notification controller because of both the Telegram regression and the SOX 5 proxy regression. And is there anything else? Um, I don't remember, but I don't think so. All right, we are also fixing in Helm controller in 2.7 we released a new feature which is the retry on failure strategy, which allows Helm controller to behave more like customized controller in how its state machine works. So the standard behavior of the Helm controller state machine is it has like configuration for the number of retries that you do, and if you exhaust all of them, the controller will give up and mark the object as stalled, and it will not try to reconcile the Helm release unless you force a reconciliation to reset the retries. With this retry strategy that we released, there's no such thing as a number of retries. So it's literally like how customized controller has that retry interval field, right? Like when a customization fails, if you have a spec.retry interval configured on the object, it will schedule reconciliation based on that retry interval. And the same applies for this new feature in Helm controller. So both the install and upgrade configuration have this field of strategy, which you can set to retry on failure. And each of them has also this retry interval field. So it's essentially a feature for Helm controller to be able to behave like customized controller. And the status reporting on the conditions of the object was not in line with the Flux standards. So we are fixing that in 2.7.3 as well. So yeah, we're fixing where we have to set the reconciling condition to with reason progressing with retry when the controller finishes the reconciliation request and schedules another reconciliation for the retry interval. During this retry interval where the controller is not actually reconciling the object should have this reconciling condition with the progressing with retry reason um, uh, explaining that it will run after the retry interval. So we're fixing that. And we're also fixing the ready condition. The ready condition was reporting what the reconciling condition should be reporting, which is like how long is the retry interval, like how after how much time will the retry happen. And instead the retry condition should report the error message from the failure. So we're also fixing that. So we're fixing the ready condition and the reconciling condition for Helm releases with this new feature. So I guess that's it. These three things are the things we're gonna fix in Flux 2.7.3, hopefully next week. All of them are fixed and merged and backported. We're just like literally waiting Stefan to come back as he is in the KCD conference in the UK this week. So we'll unless of course there's a really bad regression that requires us to release 2.7.3 this week, then Lee and myself will work on it. Otherwise we'll probably release 2.7.3 when Stefan is back next week. Um I guess in terms of updates, that's it. So we can now move on into any agenda topics or whatever anybody wants to talk about. Do we have any agenda topics? Let me check.
Looks like no one has put any topics so far. Looks like we need to create the agenda for today, actually. I'll do that.
Cool. Thanks. In the meantime, does anybody have anything? Oh, Adrian has a raised hand. Cool.
Yeah, hello guys. Yeah, I just wanted to ask about this issue related to Helm, about this the schema verification thing. I know that is an upstream issue from Helm, and they plan to release something in 3.19.1. And I've seen that you, Mateus, were involved in the
Hmm.
conversation. So do you know when this release is going to take place? And if
Oh, so they
so,
release. Oh, but they didn't release 3.19.1 yet, did
no,
they?
no, not yet, not yet. It was
Hmm.
my question was more about that if you know what they plan to do so, because I've seen that they are quite I mean, there hasn't been any updates for 3 weeks, so I was just wondering. And if there is a fix, you plan to backport it and have a patch release on Flux, or
Yeah, like I wouldn't have any qualms with that.
Mhm.
It does require some work, right? Releasing a Flux patch release,
Yeah.
but well, now we have to wait, right? Like they have,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, for
seeing the
sure.
ham releases here. We only have 3.19.0 and
Hmm.
4 beta 4.0.0 beta 1. Because that's the
Yeah.
reason, right? Helm is like currently with all the cannons pointed to Helm 4.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know when or if they'll fix this in. Actually, I don't even know. Uh, what issue is that you're talking about? Is that the one? Oh,
Let me
right, that
check.
where a Helm contributor posted on in our issue, right? I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was it about again?
It was about the schema validation, the URL loader. There was no, they should like, it was, oh, I mean, the error says that no URL loader was registered, something like that. Yeah, I have it
Hmm,
here, indeed. I can paste it here in the chat.
cool, thanks.
I bring this up in the I brought this up in the previous call, but yeah, it was quite new, I guess. And we just ran a couple of deployments and we saw this error, so that's why we were kind of wondering. I mean, this is not a blocker for us, but it's a good to have, of course.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I
But
mean,
looks like as you point out, I mean, it's going to take a while because yeah, they're focused
yeah, yeah,
on four
yeah, yeah.
and
I saw the issue here. Yeah, like we have to wait, right? That's our promise. We mirror everything the Ham SDK does, including the bugs. So,
okay, okay.
uh,
No. I mean, my point was more about if you were thinking about, yeah, postpone the fix for the upcoming official release, like for 2.8, instead of having a patch release in the middle. But yeah, if you say that once you have it, you might try
yeah.
to
I
release
mean,
it. It's okay.
yeah. Well, KubeCon North America is coming
Hmm.
in less than a month from now, like in 20 days from now.
Yeah.
So we're actually starting to get busy with that.
Okay. Okay. I see.
But
Hmm.
so yeah, I like so
I mean,
I guess
my
that there's a
yeah.
substantial chance that we might only get a fix for that influx after KubeCon
Yeah.
because there isn't even a fix in Helm yet. In
Yeah.
like in
No.
10, 20 days we have KubeCon, so yeah, that's what I would expect.
Yeah,
Um
and I'm
yeah.
afraid that they're not going to release it pretty soon. So yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's not a
they
problem.
might they might they might be aiming to release Helm 4 before
Yeah,
KubeCon themselves. So,
hmm,
that
yeah,
means
mhm,
it's gonna be probably a while before we have a fix for that. Um,
okay,
and yeah, so yeah, I guess that's it. But we are for sure releasing a patch soon with those fixes we have in
mhm,
our own code. So uh
okay,
that you can sure expect probably next week, I would guess. I'll
perfect.
I'll try to bring it up with Stefan
Mhm.
myself.
And well, another question. This is one that I'm very curious about. If you plan to go for Hell 4 once it's
Yeah,
released,
yeah,
or you're going to wait a little bit.
we have an issue open for that. It's like
Uh,
one of one of our major goals for Flux 2.8, which
okay.
will not happen before next year, of course. But
Uh-huh.
yes, we're supposed to work on that.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Even though AI is the thing that everybody should be working on right now, like yeah, we have to do Helm 4 because now there's Helm 4, so everybody is gonna ask for Helm 4. Flux has to do Helm 4.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand. I understand.
So yeah.
Yeah, requests coming in, I guess.
Yeah, we have an issue for tracking it in Flux too. You can
Okay.
look at it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have a look. Thank you. Thank you guys.
Cool.
Thank you, Mateus.
Any news about the experiment with correlating the tree of applier
Um,
objects in
yeah,
hotel?
yeah. Well, unfortunately, I haven't had time. I was busy these weeks. I was able to check a little bit the code and the logic that you mentioned about how the Flux tree, well, the Flux CLI tree works and how it goes through the tree to go up and down. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I
mean,
was looking
I
at that,
would
but
recommend not concerning with how that's done because it's like kind of
yeah, it's given.
a simple thing that we have for a long time. Like I think the
Mhm,
real bottleneck of this project is to figure out if having that like figuring out that relationship when the
mhm.
event is being dispatched solves the problem with hotel. So as we
Okay,
said,
okay,
just hard code the relationship somehow and see if that solves like if that's useful for what we want to solve in hotel.
okay. Yeah, yeah, sure, sure, I will. Now I have more time, so I will try to work on that.
Cool. Nice.
Mhm,
Thanks.
no problem.
Cool. So Augie, Anshuman, user, anybody? Anshuman, hey, I see you have a raised hand.
Hello, do you hear me?
Yep.
Hey, I'm sorry, it's some issue at my end. Hi guys, I'm Anshuman. I work for Ericsson. I'm actually same team as Adrian is in. I wanted to
Oh,
raise
nice.
actually one of the corner cases which I was working recently with one of the customers, and we were thinking on using Flux there. Let me describe issue briefly. So when we use multi-tenant setup of Flux and we onboard a new tenant using Flux APIs, we creates a bunch of cluster roles, but we also create a new namespace which Flux sort of
Oh, I
manages.
think I saw your issue is like opting out from creating the namespace, right?
Yeah. I just wanted to get your thoughts on if there is a good reason for you to always create namespace using Flux, because then when I remove Flux's tenant, that also removes the whole namespace, and if there is someone else doing something manually in that namespace, then it's an issue as well. So yeah.
Oh, let me check your. Where was it that you created the issue?
I don't. I created a PR actually directly. I did not create the issue. Let me share that link here.
I remember seeing it somewhere.
Yeah, it was a PR. Let me share over the chat here.
Oh, it wasn't a pull request. All right, you opened the PR. Yeah. Skip. Um, I don't have a strong opinion about implementing this myself. Maybe just about how to name the flag. Like
Mm-hmm.
so I mean, this is like fine. It's not we can probably do this. We just need to wait for more people to give their opinions. Maybe Stefan
Okay.
has an opinion about it. So gotta wait for him. I just request a review from him in the PR.
Okay.
So yeah. So yeah, for me it's like yeah, we can ship this, maybe just change the flag name. But yeah, let's wait for Stefan to give his opinion on this.
Sure. Thank you.
Cool. Mm, Next topic. User. I'm very curious.
We lost you for a second there, Mateus. It looks like your connection is.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I was asking if anybody else has anything. Augie, maybe user, and who is user? I would really like to know who user is. Um, Kingdom, anything?
I don't really have anything myself today.
Have you tried 2.7?
Unfortunately, I haven't actually. I'm behind on a bunch of things. I'm getting ready for KubeCon myself, and also I don't have anything to present at KubeCon this time, but I have the Cozy Summit that's coming up, the first Cozy Stack virtual conference in December, and I am presenting something there about transitioning to ARM64 and power usage and um,
Are you
some.
gonna do some Flux booth time?
I will absolutely do some Flux booth time, no doubt.
Nice.
I'm also
Cool.
excited to get to see more talks than usual because I usually don't get to see a lot of talks at these conferences. But
Very excited for FluxCon, the very first.
yeah,
Kingdon, you just mentioned an interesting queue, migrating to ARM64. Can you characterize the issues that you're anticipating there? Because I'm currently involved in getting a major application ready on a Debian platform, also using ARM64. And thus far, we have not really seen any major differences between ARM and AMD 64.
sure, yeah. So I'm going through this at work. I've actually gone through this a few months ago already, so I feel like I have a good place to approach this for my home lab to do a presentation for Cozy Stack because we, of course, aren't using Cozy Stack at work. We're using EKS Auto. So switching for EKS was very easy. In fact, we had control in our node pool that was preventing us from using ARM64 nodes, and pretty much we just removed it. Switched the AMD 64 selector to include both. And immediately we saw about a 30% reduction in costs and a um, similar, not quite as large reduction in CPU usage. The CPU usage actually goes down, so we can fit more workloads into the same number of cores. Um, so just by a little bit, but by enough to notice. Um, and the main issue for us was we weren't producing multi-arch builds. So when I did flip that switch, the we don't produce a lot of software. We just mainly take open source software and implement it and handle all the glue between. Um, so everything was ready for ARM64 except for the thing that we built. And that thing started flaking around, and it was built using Canico, so it was actually like 30-minute exercise to upgrade it to ARM64 multi-arch image. I'm sorry, using
Mhm.
Co. It's very easy with Co. It was a challenge with Canico. We're not using Canico for
Yeah, Canico
debugging.
is a challenge.
So
I haven't mastered it yet. Can you point
yeah,
me to
yeah,
a page where
I would
it's
love
being
to, but
described?
I spent the weekend vibe coding to
Oh,
actually get
okay.
the solution, and I haven't got permission to publish it yet. So
Oh, okay.
maybe I can publish it, and then, but it's a GitLab workflow, so I'm not sure how useful it will be. Depending on if you use GitLab, it might be very useful.
Yeah, no, we're using GitLab, and in fact, I took a stab at creating a GitLab pipeline to produce ARM images using Canico. But like I said, I have not yet succeeded doing it.
Well, maybe I can
I
get
have a
permission to
commit in
share this with
Canonical.
you. Yeah, you do. Cool.
It's a flag for very minor, like flag for ignoring immutability errors in registries that support immutable tags. Like, I added a flag to skip those errors.
Well, the workload that I built allows me to produce builds on demand for any repository. So it's a workflow in a centralized repository with a bunch of directories. And it's based on an earlier version that required the entire code base to be inside of that directory. So if you had a simple Docker file that pulled from another Docker file and you needed to add a few things to it, that was useful. But if you had a remote repository that needed to be built from scratch, it wasn't the tool. So I created that tool over the weekend. So we have like a Canico directory in there, and it turns out that Canico can't actually build Canico because it uses it uses build kit flags. So you need build kit if you want to build Canico itself. Um, but there are still people building Canico out there, so we didn't have to build Canico. So I just pointed at like the Go. There's a Docker Hello World Go example. Pointed at that repo, and it will build as many images as have changes in the local tree. So if you point it at a new remote tag and say that's the tag to build, then it will go and clone that tag and any other tags with changes from other directories and build them in order, alphabetical order. And it just spins up an ARM64 and an AMD64 node in our node pool and tears them down. That stuff all happens via GitLab. It's not very complicated at all. So the issues are, how do I ensure if I have a workload that I know needs to run on one architecture or the other, that it does? And another core issue is if I have workloads that I don't really need to run all the time, which because I'm running Cozy Stack, I do. There's a bunch of operators in there I'm not using. I could just uninstall them, but they're part of the platform. So what I'm probably going to do is give them node selector for AMD 64 and then shut down all my AMD 64 nodes. And then I won't be running those things and I'll be saving all that extra power. And I'll have some alerts to clear on my dashboard. Maybe add some silences for that, but
If it's a daemon set, the pod won't even be created, but the other things I think they will still be created.
yeah, I'll get a pending pod that we'll try to schedule somewhere, and it won't go anywhere because I'm not on EKS auto mode with general purpose node pool or any other node pools. Yeah, so I'm basically I'm going to try to get all the workloads that I care about onto ARM64, see how small I can make that. Is it one or two Raspberry Pis or four Raspberry Pis, and then shut off my ARM64 cluster. AMD 64 cluster. Shut that one off.
I think what Mateus was saying is aligned with the problem that I have encountered trying to create a Canico built image. So I'm going to follow up on what he said. But I would also appreciate if you could somehow keep me abreast on what you're doing with your ARM clusters, because that's really the final goal and target that I'm also working for.
Cool.
All right. Any other topics? Nope. I guess we can wrap up early today.
Okay.
All right. See you all next
Thank you.
week.
Okay, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah,
See
likewise.
you.
Take care.